Hello, everyone. How y'all doing tonight? Hope you're well. Yeah, of course. The old unpleasant truth is rearing his ugly head still. Like, is this real life? Like, this is really something that it's just so, it's definitely an oxymoron, like it's not funny. But it's so outrageous and it just keeps getting more and more outrageous that it's funny. Like that's all you can really think. Let's say hi to some people. Hey, Marvels and stuff. How are you? Good to see ya. Hey, Professor Pug. Cher. Grandma Sherry. How are you doing, Cher? I hope you're well. Christy. Hey, Jill. We got Kaleidoscope. It's good to see you. It's been a while. GP. Hello, love. Hey, Jack. How's it been? Man, I feel like I've been gone for a really long time, but it's only been like a couple months or a month or something. But it's good to see everyone. Hey, Chemo. Chemo Sabi. You shouldn't just say chemo, right? Hey, Lake. I hope you are too. I'm doing good. I'm adjusting to being an empty nester. It's not been real easy. Like you're ready for it. Like you raise your kids so that they leave and go off into society and be as happy and as well adjusted as you can. That's your goal as a parent. And then when they do leave, you're just like, I've been doing the same thing for 18 years and 21 years. Like it's an adjustment, So, hey, Dustin. Hey, True Crime Recliner. How are you? Thank you. Good to see you here. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Jamie. Hey, Dustin. From Italy. Wow. That's pretty cool. Hey, Johnny Kramer. The Music Movie Channel. I am doing good. I hear ya. Hey, Mayo. Good to see you. I have a whole script on your classmate. I have it, well, not a script, but I have like my timeline and like all the newspapers and everything. If you're interested, I would like to do it with you. But I figured, that's one that doesn't have a lot of attention. So I'd really like to do that. I've got it all ready to go. I just need to make a thumbnail. But if you're interested, I would love to have you on to discuss the area, just like what it's like there, the cultural differences, and like any little town's got their little things that if you live there, about it. So I think it would be a lot more interesting if we had some of those yeah, probably. Probably. Okay, I will. This weekend, tomorrow I've got plans, but then Sunday I am completely open anytime. And then this week I am working a lot during the week because I am leaving on Thursday to go to Florida. So I'm excited, and hopefully we'll see some of you guys while I'm there. But yeah, I work on Thursdays. Like I don't know what I was thinking because I arrive at a certain time. So I was just like, oh yeah, I can work. I can work at 3. I can take a color haircut at 3. I was like, wait a minute. Like, no, I got to be at the airport at 3. Like I can't do this. So I've had to move all kinds of stuff around. So this week's kind of busy, but hopefully we'll go live from Florida at some point. I'm preparing for it. So yeah, I think it'll be cool. I've always wanted to go to CrimeCon and just, I think there was one year I had my family like surprised me with that's what they wanted to get me for Christmas. And I think that was the year whenever they were in Indianapolis, but something happened. I don't know if it was COVID or whatever, but oh, cool, Kimosabi. Yeah, I'm ready for mine to come home and visit. I'm glad that she is loving college life, and but yeah, I still like to see her sometimes, Yeah, Melissa, I am. Just attending, like I'm not anywhere near being, like having a booth or anything like that. But I'm hoping to see, because before the YouTube, I had a podcast, and we had like a group of us that kind of all started podcasts around the same time. And I'm hoping I know some of them are going to be there, and I'm excited to kind of meet them in real life, and like just so awesome how much they've grown, and just to kind of be able to chat with them, in real life. Hey, Gray Pill. Hope you're doing good. Oh, cool. Yeah. I'll be there. I'm a little nervous. I do not like oh, he was Cher yeah, I've got to get back to like looking at that. I don't even know. Hey, Pigs Fly. Good to see you. Okay. So making sure I didn't miss anything major. I do have one thing before we get going on the tomfoolery. Oh yeah, you should. You should. Hey, Digger Dave, how are you? It's been a while. I hope you're good. At work listening in. All right, cool. Okay. Earlier this week, you guys know, like the Shannon Polk cold case, 2001, Prattville, Alabama. How I kind of got involved with that, kind of through Wesley Meyer from. He was in the Delphi groups, and like he was like, yeah, take a look at this case, and it just broke my heart, and then I do what I normally do and go full throttle at something. And we did the podcast for Shannon Polk. That was the first case chronologically that I really dug my feet into, and I got to meet all the family. We hosted a vigil. I went out to Alabama. It was, it's just it's a heartbreaking case, and this beautiful soul that deserves justice. And one of her uncles, she's got a few, and they're all great. Her uncle Charlie Evans, him and his wife, I guess would be, yeah, I mean, they hosted me coming there for the vigil. And I mean, we were all a team, you know, Jeanette and Charlie and Tammy and a few others. Like especially, you know, Wesley, like we worked really hard to get that vigil and make it a success. And it was, you know, we set out a goal, and Charlie was the driving force of that. You know, he was such a wonderful human being, and he died earlier this week, cancer. So there is a barbecue. It's at the Big Star Tavern, which they took me to when I was out there. And, you know, like, you think, like, I'm from Indiana, you know, like this was my first time in Alabama ever. And this bar, you know, is a family. Like, it is the epitome of what you would think of when you think of like Alabama. You know, I can't say enough good things about it, but it is, it was near and dear to Charlie's heart and Tammy, and they're having a fundraiser for them. It was supposed to be for his, he's not going to be able to work anymore. He's got to deal with this cancer thing. And it was supposed to be just to raise funds for his family and him, you know, to see them through this. And then he died right before the fundraiser. So now the fundraiser is for his funeral costs and burial. And it just sucks. It really sucks. He knows what happened to Shannon, his niece, now. And he, you know, it wasn't for the lack of trying, because Charlie tried. He tried to get justice for Shannon while he was on this earth, and it didn't happen. And the way we can honor him the best is to keep pushing for justice for Shannon Polk, his beautiful niece. So there is a GoFundMe, and I'm going to share that. I would be so honored if you were to be able to give to this family. I mean, this is just the salt of the earth. Good people, and they have been through hell. You know, literally, they've been through hell. It's just not fair. You know, like life just kind of, it's like the good are kind of, I don't know. I'm trying not to be. Yeah, it's just Tammy was in a car accident. I think it was probably like a couple years ago, like right after the vigil, not long after the vigil, and like, you know, just wrecked their whole life, got turned upside down. And then this, you know, and then the death of your niece, who they spent, it's not like they didn't, you know, this was, you know, like, it just horrible things. And I don't know. I've donated. I want to donate more. And so if, you know, like, I'd rather you just donate straight to the GoFundMe, because that goes straight to his daughter, who's, you know, in charge of like getting everything going. And but if you can't and you want to donate on here, I will give that money to them tomorrow. I won't wait till Google pays me. I'll give it to them tomorrow through the GoFundMe. Or I will figure out a way, because GoFundMe takes a percentage. So maybe I can get it straight to Tammy. I don't know. But yeah, it's just like, this is a family that really deserves and like needs our help. And yeah, it's my dog. He's scared. There's random like fireworks going off for some ridiculous reason. So he is pacing, and his nails were due to be cut today, but I was the only one home and I can't do it by myself because he is really bad. Story of my life. So, yeah, I'm going to shut this door because someone's home now and they can mind him. I'll be right back. Okay. Hey, Kelt. It does. That, that's the thing. There's a Mother Teresa quote about that of like, like to, on my own, I can give some. I'm totally botching this Mother Teresa quote, but like, it's basically the point of it is like we can all do our part. We can all, whether it's giving or volunteering or whatever the case may be, we can all do our part, but together, we can make a really big change or, donation, because I can give a little and you can give a little, and then you add all that together and we can really make a difference and help somebody, and just that together, we're better. And yeah. Oh, thank you, Gray Pill. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate that you said your word is good for me. I hope that, when you think about your life on your deathbed, when you look back on the things that you do you have more to be proud of or more to be ashamed of? And I think about that a lot, and it impacts the decisions I make on a daily basis. And, life is about owning, you're the only one that is in charge of the decisions and the things that you do, say, and put out there into the world, whether good or bad. And you have to be able to live with that. You have to be able, I'm forever like saying weird things, but I don't know how else to say it. You only go to sleep with yourself at night, your own conscience, your own decisions. And how well do you sleep? Some people who don't have the innate qualities that make us human, they lack them. So they don't really think about any of that. But luckily, those are few and far between. Parts of the human race, those psychopathic people that are inhuman, because the thing that makes us human is our empathy, and being able to empathize with the plight or the joy of another human being, and how heartbreaking it is that through nature, nurture, and life, that there are human beings that lack that innate human quality, Hey, Crime Geek. Hope you're doing well. All right. So I had to save some of these, but you know what? Like it just has been going all day. So I figure we'll just jump on over to Burn After Reading and Delphi After Dark, Rick's name, his channels. Like he's just been out of control. Hey, Support with Steffa, good to see you. I think let me see. I think some of the comments might have gotten taken down. I was going to check, but I did. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to pull these up as screenshots. So give me a second. Because this happened first. So hold on just a second. All right, let me share my screen. Gosh, I'm like totally rusty. Okay, hold on. How what's going on with this? So why is every time like they just like change stuff? Okay, hopefully this is it. I don't know if you can still hear me and all that jazz. Hey Frank, how are you doing? Hope you're well. Hey Vern, how you doing, buddy? I mean, good night. Can you believe this is still going on? Like this fool's still fooling people. Like it is just I don't even know. All right. Oh, of course, I went to something different. Uh-oh. That's not good. Whenever you see that little ball, like that means your computer's about to crash. Great. Okay. Well, what's happening? Okay, can y'all hear me and y'all see it? He is too much. I hear. Okay, thank you, Crime Geek. So, this is a post on Burn After Readings. He, being the nice guy that he is, he took this comment down. But it's I get it. You don't want to on your comment thread, but here it goes. So, a charity event isn't something you're interested in. Okay, let's just let's just talk about that for a second. So Greeno has, he's got his little Jack in the Box, Snowy, that's his new graz, his new Jack in the Box that he's gonna, hit that little thing and out pops Snowy. And the poor guy, like, come on, learn from other people's mistakes. Don't be his Jack in the Box, dude. Don't know you, don't know much about you, but I did hear an apology, and at least Noe was able to make an apology without a but or a blame shift. We know Greeno's not capable of that, never has been. So he's going to host a charity event that is like a boxing match. First off, well, that's ridiculous and stupid. But it's for charity, and his fans get to pick. And then apparently he's going to have he's going to announce a treasurer. Like he's going to have a treasurer. I don't know how to say that, treasurer. That I don't know how to say that word. So he's going to have someone else in charge of the money, because we all know what he's going to do with it. He's going to pocket it. And so even if that does happen, and that does come true, if any of this even comes to fruition at all, so we've got, the ringmaster, and then the Jack in the Box, and Rick. I don't know what he's thinking. Like, dude, this guy, like, no, just say no. Well, you said no first. Say no some more. Keep saying no. Like, you know, like, so that's his new grift is this, and he's going to come back. You know, apparently he's in Washington. Carly, come on, girl. I really worry about you. I really do. I hope that you are safe. I hope that you, I hope that you leave and you can break away. You know, here for you. Okay, so yeah, even if all that, so I guarantee you. Now remember, I'm not psychic or anything, you guys. I'm just like a normal person that has, you know, some deduction skills. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. He's in Washington. Obviously, he doesn't have a job or anything like that. Now, don't be expecting too much. You know, he doesn't have that kind of like a real job or anything like that. So he's living off of her, and probably, you know, she's, you know, yeah, like took him to a Nike outlet. So now he's like Nike head to toe. Is it Nike or Nike? I can never remember. But yeah, like it's so cliche and just like, so yeah, like the big Nike ad is what he's turned into, and it's just like a version of the same outfit, you know. So he probably did what he did to Crime Geek and just like surprised her, like, surprise, your online boyfriend's here now in real life, and oh yeah, by the way, you have to support me. Like, so ridiculous. But yeah, so he's going to come back. But here's the thing: even if he does like follow through with the having a treasurer, I guarantee you there's going to be a simultaneous fund, probably his PayPal money pool, so that to raise funds for him to come back for this. And then obviously, you know, like they're going to sell tickets and stuff. And Greeno is going to use this to profit. And he's going to use this to be that puppet master that he likes to think he can do, which he's just not good at it. That's why his patterns are so easy to spot if you really are just paying a tiny bit of attention, you know. So yeah, this is his just another thing that he's doing. You know, he's been doing this and it's been working. You know, why would anyone change anything when it continues to work? Even I can see the logic in continuing on. If you don't, you know, care about who you hurt, then, you know, if it's working, you know, like what he did with the bondsman, you know, like how they literally all got together and chased him out, like had Indiana come pick him up for a warrant, you know, like he's just a menace wherever he goes. So, but he does follow the same patterns, you know. So remember when he started money pools for, he's running for sheriff in Carroll County. At the same time, in the same 2019 year, he's also running for sheriff in South Carolina somewhere. Like, we found all of that. Like, that's not possible, for one. And a felon that can't carry a gun can't be a sheriff, you know. Like, he's tried to tell everybody that's not true, that they can, but we've already gone through all of that and debunked all that. So here's the rest, you know. That's the grift. And then here is where he's doing too much. You're a scared bitch. Didn't I tell you, if you or Mel post something about me, I'll post Crime Geek's nudes? Well, you just made that happen for her. Keep it up and I'll keep terrorizing others. Just remember, they have you to thank. Are you freaking serious? Like, but this is again, this is the way that, like, he literally thinks that this is rational, that this is called for, that he gets to, because we won't stop telling the truth about him and exposing his ridiculousness. he's going to do this to Crime Geek. And that is going to be all 100% our fault. Get the fork out. Like, that is so ridiculous. Come on, guys. And you know, Burn After Reading says, no, thank you for showing your true colors. But Greeno doesn't get it. Like, he doesn't get that he's showing his true colors. Like, he is like you know, cause and effect for him. Like, I veiled threaded you with this, and now you've gone and done this. And you know what? I have a killer that I know, a murderer that murdered my friend, that said the exact same thing. She deserved me killing her because she wouldn't let me see my kids. So she is the one that caused her own murder. Now, would any of you think that that was rational, that that wasn't anything but a psychopath, narcissist ramblings? No, you wouldn't. He literally mutilated her body while her kids lay next to her in the bed. And he goes on to purport that it was her fault. She had it coming. The judge was the one that actually said, yeah, you've gone too far. I'm putting a restraining order. You cannot see your children. But of course, in a psychopath's mind, you know, they're not wrong. Like, his mutilating and murdering her and plotting the murder and trying to hide was completely within his rights to do to her because she asked for it. Now, would anyone be like, yeah, she deserved that. She totally deserved to die. No, come on. This is just another version of that exact same thing. There's an example for you of everyone in the true crime community would be appalled if they saw that on Dateline, or say you watch Signs of a Psychopath. Boy, I'll tell you what, you should, and you should keep this guy in mind when you watch it, and people like him in mind when you watch it. But he doesn't get that Byrne is literally saying, like, that's on, like, calling him out on that. He doesn't understand that. Not in the least. Let's see. Here we go. So also said that you would threaten to post your Crime Geeks nude. She has nothing to do with this. 100%. Here he goes. You know, he's digging in. True Greeno fashion, digging right in. Greeno says on True Crime Investigates, told you if you comment anything more about me, I'd do it. So you just caused more hell for her. She can thank you. Should have kept your mouth shut. The more you talk, the more terror I bring down on her and others. Like, can that just speak for itself? Do I really need to, like, explain this to anyone? The menacing, like, psychopathy of this comment? You know, Bird tries. So you'll hurt an innocent person to get to another. Crime Geek has nothing to do with this. Why make the threat to hurt her to get to me or Mal? Well, because he thinks that's completely within his right to do. Cause and effect, you got to remember. But we're not dealing with, like, normal people here. He's not normal. You know, like, it's just my thought. He's not normal. I'm not sure if I think that was the only ones I had from the burn comment, but like, so there's the one, and then here's the other. This is something, nothing new, he's done this to me. He's done this to Crime Geek. He's done this to literally, like, just tons of people. Okay. At this point. So, Delphi After Dark says, Greeno threatened to kill me, my wife, and my kids. And he shows the proof. And then, apparently, I don't know. This is from a video. He is claiming that this video is old, but myself and many other people know that this is not. This is his latest ploy, which he's used in the past to control the new ex-girlfriend, the newest ex-girlfriend that's still currently with him for some crazy reason. I don't know how you could be sent a YouTube live private of your boyfriend killing himself, fake killing himself. Okay. Like, it is absolutely appalling. And I've seen the video. I will not share it because it is just sick. It is sick, but I'll tell you about it. Okay. So there's this scene one is Greeno with this big knife. And of course his arm is just off to the side of the well-placed camera. And the knife comes down and strikes out like this, and as it comes back up, it should be dripping with blood, but it's not, because this is cause and effect. This guy literally thinks that this is going to work. This is you can't abandon me. I have abandonment issues. You can't leave or I'm going to kill myself. So he thinks this is going to work. Like, and apparently it did. Like, I flabbergasted, but and it proceeds on to him hanging himself in a closet. And okay, so he's in the closet, right? I know he's short, but he's not that short. So he's kind of like laying down, trying to hang from something, cord or rope or something. And you see his foot, kind of convulsing, because if you know anything about like hanging, like unless your neck is severed, you do convulse when you are people do when they're dying of actual hanging and not the broken neck from, like, the hangings that we all know about. Like, so yeah, like, and then so his legs convulsing, and you think, oh my, like, he's really doing it. No. His phone ping, he gets a message, and all of a sudden this convulsing, dying man jumps up and runs to the phone, so both of these, and like to do that, like to be that low that you would exploit your own death for your gain. Like, he has no intention of killing himself. Remember that. And like, it was obviously fake. Like, he's still alive. So, like, and I know many other people that he's done this to. I've seen and heard him doing this to other people. Like, this is a part of his pattern, So here he says, so obviously, Rick got a hold of a picture from that and sent it to him. And he says 5 years ago, yeah, that's a lie. He doesn't want to talk about this because, I don't think he ever thought that she would send a link to anyone else for this shit show. Yeah, when I attempted suicide. Go ahead and post it. I'll kill you and your wife. Fork with me and I'll kill your kids. Now try me. And then to, bolster his threat here, he sends Rick a couple screen grabs of, I don't know, I believe it's probably Rick's family. I think it might be his wife, so he's done the same thing to me. He's done it to many other people. I mean, it's literally a part of court records. Like, it's not anything new. Yeah, so this is your voice for the victims. This is the real Greeno. Like, he has the ability to be superficially charming. It's a smug and glib. He has a wonderful ability to draw you in, with the bright lights and the, distractions, and then playing, all of that nonsense. But he does have a honed in ability to grab you through a lens. And it's deceiving, because at some point, you can watch it and, man, he's charming. He's, he seems so charismatic and so, so thoughtful, and, just like he's really trying to help Noe and to Rick to bury the hatchet and wife Lilith and all of this stuff. He's really trying to help. But that's it. It is superficial. He's really trying to exploit, and he always has, and he probably always will. And you want to know why? Because he's never taken accountability for anything. Like, just read you, go ahead and post that. I'll kill you and your wife. I'll kill your kids. Now try me. And here's more, letting you know that I'm serious and I know where you live. This is the self-proclaimed voice for the victims. I have a little video. Let's go real quick and check back in with the. Oh, well, let's just finish this out. I get a little. So, yeah, this is, he, like I said, he digs in. And so this is him digging in precisely, he says, precisely to, this is the community post on Rick's Nays, which is still up. It's got 80 some comments last I looked. But yeah, you can go and, yeah, like this guy, oh, Bill, he's like, JC, he's admitting to it right in front of you. And like, this is what happens when you're dealing with someone that lacks that humanity, like this, precisely. Yeah. Your fault. It's going to be your fault when you get your family killed for messing with me. How dare you think that you have the right to tell the truth about me, or talk about me, or not tell the truth about me? Like, we can't control what other people do. Who cares? If it's not true, then just, but he can't. Like, it's like, I think that the truth is like, he's allergic, the story, like, because it was uncovered when I FOIA'd and got all of that, all of his court records and stuff, it gives like a insight into why Greeno may be the way that he is. And the story is compelling, and it makes you sad, to think of like the truth of how, what Greeno went through when he was a baby, and then what he went through as a child and a teenager and everything like that. Like, it is sad. And it sucks. Point blank. It's a sucky story. And the truth is something that, like, you would feel sorry for him, but the truth isn't good enough for him. So he's got to make it into, I'm the son of a murderer, which he's not. And my mother was murdered, which she wasn't, like, so like the story of like how Greeno came to be isn't good enough for him. His dad isn't good enough for him, like, but why? Like, what is the pathology behind this? Some things will just be a mystery. This video here, yeah, I'm not going to show that. Change my mind. No, get off. I need to do that. Oh, here we go. This is geesh. Look at this. So this must be on another video. I don't know where it is. Someone sent this to me. A commenter says, imagine losing a child and having a parasite like AG clinging to their death for money. Well said. And he says, in response to that, he said, imagine losing a child at the hands of Greeno. Wow, so sad to think of. Yeah, Cleo, he is. He's just evil. He's just evil. Like, I don't, like, this is just, who, and then, Rick's like, whose child are you threatening now, scumbag? So it's like, it is just an absolute shit show, just absolutely, ridiculous. What do I get? There we go. Yeah. You're right. Thank you. Okay. What's going on? Yeah. Very true, Jamie. Yeah. CJK. Yeah. First class liar, no moral compass or an ounce of integrity. I agree with you. Yeah, Reg, I plan on it, but I don't, because the video really, like, it gives you an insight to the perversion of his thinking. It's demented, but I'm not going to show that sweet little girl's face, and so I've got to blur that out, even though he didn't, but I got to blur her out. But yeah, it really just kind of shows like he thinks this is okay, like but it's just not, and when he can, but, and then he also has the ability to gloss right over things and then like pretend like they didn't happen, or like he posted, like, he had like a video with the Noe guy, and he was like, this is what I would do if I show up. And he's found this creepy ass, like, little spoof video of this grown man slapping children and slapping the cops and slapping like all these people, like in a backyard, like, and then at the end, the person like slaps an animal, and like that's what he would do. That's what he says this is what he would roll into town like, a big slapper, just slap everybody, even the little children. I mean, it's just absolutely chaotic to like, what? Like, you think that is appropriate? Like, huh? I digress. It is just something else, so like this is the guy, that's who we're dealing with here. Like, and even on his Facebook, you can go and look at it, public, proud of it. He's like, man, I wish somebody would, like, I wish a MFer would. Ooh, you're 38 years old. You wish a MFer would because you've been itching to like beat somebody up. Like, why don't you go full Fight Club on yourself? That would be something I would pay for. Like, to see. Why don't you just get in the ring with yourself and have it out with yourself? Just a full Fight Club scene. Just really go at it and maybe teach yourself a lesson. That might be helpful for you. That might be more helpful than the Jack in the Box. But, you got to remember, like, that's what can I do? What can I? And that, like, he gets more and more absurd because people just keep supporting him. So it's like, well, they'll believe anything. Like, I can say this today, and then tomorrow I could be like, but look how much I've changed. I've changed. That was the old me, the me of yesterday. Like, I was just asinine. It's just absolutely insane. It's insanity. Yes, you do, Cindy Lynn, and you call him right on out about it. After everything he did to Crime Geek, I'm shocked that people are still allowing him to do this crap. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just it's like so bombastic. Like, it's just like, and to him, it's our fault. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And he's not going to threaten me with that, and if he wants to do, because the last time that he released somebody's nudes, it really backfired on him. It hurt his pockets. So it wouldn't be wise of him to do that again. I think maybe he did learn from that one, because I haven't seen him do that since, and I get sent almost everything that he does. I get sent it an email, and on Facebook Messenger. I don't even have to go and look for anything anymore. But I think people just kind of see me as the voice of, like, the voice for the victims of Greeno, like, and I see it as preventative real crime. That's truly how I see it. And Crime Geek is a testament to that, along with many others. So, yeah, it's what I do with the unpleasant truth is I'm attempting to be a preventative real crime YouTuber, Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Crime Geek, it does suck. Yeah, Kelt, we all hold out hope, but when you got a wild maniac like that, has no regard for his own, he's a person that will like, I don't even think I could write it like out, like fake, like that I'm going to kill your kids. You know, like think about a situation where you have got into a conflict with another human being, maybe at work or like when you're in high school or something. And, you know, like in your own family, you know, just like something comes up and imagine yourself saying, um, if you don't do what I told you to do, and I told you to clean the bathroom, you know, just telling your kid, you know, just whatever, your spouse. And if you don't do it, I'm going to release those videos I have of you. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to kill your kids. I'm going to kill your wife. I'm going to kill your mom. You know, like people in their right mind don't say stuff like that. They just don't. They don't say that. Like there's like trolling and there's like having conflict and like he has been habitually, you know, he gets on something where it's like, okay, well, this is what people are going to buy. They're going to buy into this. So then he like says it a bunch. Sorry, there's like a hair here. It's getting on my nerves. But how he told the judge to get forked, you know, like he's proud of that. He's proud of it. And he thinks that it will benefit you, that he's the type of guy that will tell a judge to get forked. He thinks that that's going to help you out, you, the listener, the one that he's drawing in with his superficial charm, you know, looking right into the camera. And I'm the type of guy, like, I don't care. Jail is nothing to me. I don't care to go there. So you want someone like me on your side. You want to be a member of my channel so you can see just how much I don't give a fork. When in all actuality, like he doesn't know the last thing about not giving a fork. He gives forks out everywhere, but not really. Not really. And yeah, just not really. Not really, because like I said, there's this innate thing that's missing. So it's looks like, you know, but you also see where everything is not his fault. There is a cause and effect, and Greeno never puts himself in that. He doesn't understand that myself, Burn After Reading, Rick, Noe, whomever his conflict is in the moment, he's the common denominator in all of those conflicts. Because before me, there was somebody else. Before Crime Geek, there was somebody else. You know, like this pattern is deep in decades old, you know, and the only person that was there decades ago with Greeno was Greeno, you know, causing. So all of the cause and effects, if he had the ability to think about and truly change, you know, his perspective in his life, then he would be like, wow, like, yeah, this has happened. And it's kind of similar to what happened last year and the year before that, 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 because it's like a yearly thing, you know, like just following his criminal record, you know. But like, oh, I found it, and we didn't have been looking for it all over my computer. I'm like, what have I done with this piece of paper? And it was me and Ivy Rose on the first like installment of us digging through his criminal history. And it was the letter to the judge, because he asked, so in the court, if you watch the episode 1, it's got like time stamps, so you can like pull it up and look like at like what we're talking about, and then you can just skip to those. So that's kind of nice. I wish all of my videos would do that for me, because I didn't do that. I don't know how it ended up on there, but it's pretty awesome. Shout out to my friends at It's a Crime and Shame. I haven't seen them in a while. I haven't been on anywhere really. So, but what was I saying? Forget. Totally forget. There was a video I was going to share. It is just, it's called It's a New Day. I'm trying to find it. This channel, It's a New Day. Well, of course, it's not going to just pull right up. Sheesh. What is going on? There we go. Let's go ahead and share my screen. You guys will have to go and subscribe to It's a New Day. Made some really great clips. This is what I'm talking about. Yes. Proud of this. Wow. Oh my God. Where's this one from? Oh my God. This scam. Oh. Listen to his logic here. Listen to his way of thinking. I'm not going to do it now. Wait, the video. There's like a lot more to it. Oh God. Well, you're welcome. Yeah. So that's where, yeah, I mean, these are great, just like a short little, like, exposing the truth clips. So, I was gonna, oh God, we don't need to hear that anymore. Like, it's so lame. Like, that's literally your gimmick. Why? Maybe this will work. And then there's El Gaucho and Babylonian Cowboy. I don't know who these people are, but they post little clips of Greeno being Greeno, like the true Greeno. So yeah, it's definitely worth a sub. Hey, Miss Persevere, how are you? It's been a while. Hey, Miranda. Yeah, thank you for telling her that, Miranda. I agree. Oh my, I am way behind. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to be able to catch up to all that. Is to call people pedos. It's bizarre. Yeah, it's very bizarre. I hope we've all pinned the clowns down. Well, this clown. I'm using voice to text. Oh, okay. Been hiding in the bushes. Yeah, me too. Oh, yeah, he's so jealous of Gray. You know, and think about how it must burn his biscuits. I had a friend who used to say that all the time, burn my biscuits. That this Gray's success, you know, like Gray was in true crime before Delphi, but he was really there from the very beginning. If you go and look, Greeno was not. That's a lie. He fled to another state, you know, like he wasn't around until 18, but he was around that day. And then he fled. Like he had to come back in town. We read the court documents of like more than likely why he was here when he was, because he was compelled to, like, you show up or we're going to put an arrest warrant out for you, buddy. Like you are going to give your DNA to see if this child is yours. And oh, he's the father. Good Lord, poor kid, you know. Yeah, so I mean, it is wild. But if you think about, like, I mean, Gray is awesome, and like how much his channel has grown from 2016 to 2023, and just the amount that he is able to donate to all different kinds of real crime like charities, and the amount of people he's been able to help. Just think about how much that just eats at little Greeno, you know, like that's really got to burn his biscuits. It's really got to burn his biscuits. Yeah. Yeah. Murder sheet, you know, I don't know. They're, yeah, I mean, you know, like, gosh, just that, like, never, you know, just like own your own, even rent your own, like, dwelling. I think that should be like a new goal, you know, and here's the guy that, like, we all know, you know, he's got, because he'll use his children when he, you know, when he wants you to get in line. He'll be like, well, my kid's sitting here next to me. Like, he put some of that in like my chat and other places, you know, like we actually believe that. But yeah, like, so he exploits his own family and children repeatedly. But you know, just think about like a norm, like you're in your everyday life. If, you know, just like think if you were around these poor children, of just like the horribleness of, here's a guy that, like, admittedly, you know, has abandonment issues. And, you know, there, I can see why. I've read the court documents. I've read the case reports, you know. Instead of we all have that time in our life when we can use our and have insight into our own making, so to say, of like what made me me, and childhood trauma, and your immediate family, your extended family, and how like the school you go to, the interactions that you have in your life have impacted and they have made you who you are. The thing is like for each person at some point, you can't use that as an excuse. That's once you realize that like I have abandonment issues because I was abandoned. The point of like having that self-realization is to heal it and to stop repeating it, not to use it to get what you want from another human being. You can't leave me. I have abandonment issues. What? No, that's not the point. Like I had a friend try that with me. She was just a straight up psychotic in the end. Like she really, but that superficial charm, that charisma, and then they pull you in and then you're invested. You're somehow along on the crazy train. And like with her, the fallout was a disaster. She stalked me for a year of my life. Like it was a nightmare. She was like a single white female. Like, but like I can go back and I can look at that time period of my life and I can literally see why I did what I did. And now that I know that, I don't get to use it as an excuse to perpetuate whatever I want unto other people because I went through this. No, I learned from that. And now I'm not going to be finding any, I'm going to be aware of that superficial charm and that way that people pull you in and they make you invested in them. And then they start to really show themselves and then I did this. I wanted to excuse her behavior. I can help her. That's my own issue. That has nothing to do with her. But that issue that I have made me a target for her. Okay. So here's somebody that that I have compassion for, and they use that against me. Okay. And she was an only child. And finally got sick of hearing her say that, well, I was an only child. So she would do something just outrageous and totally wrong. Like, just like, what are you doing? And then she would literally like, I'm sorry, but I was an only child. And like, I don't know. I was an only child. It's like, okay, but so finally I was just like, stop saying that. Like if you have enough self like recognition to recognize that you're doing A, B, C, and D because you were an only child, but you're owning that you're an only child and that's your excuse. You can't use it as an excuse anymore. You have to change. But people with that superficial charm and that kind of mining normal human behavior, they don't know how to do that. So that is completely logical. Well, I'm sorry, but so whenever there's a but, like, that everything before it is shit. So, yeah, like, but like, I'm an only child, duh. Like, and you're the one, now it's the gaslighting thing. And now you're the one that's like a jerk for calling her out on something because it's like, oh, yeah, I should have been more aware that she was an only child. But these are the situations that you'll get into with people like this, these succubuses, these, parasites. Like the living off of other people is all part of that too. Like, oh wow. Hey Frosty, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you, Professor Pug. I appreciate that. Aw. Thank you, Reg. Keep up the good work. I'm sure this show eats him up inside. Yeah. What little there is, it eats him up. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah. Hey, Jinx. Thank you. Don't drink the Greeno Kool-Aid. Amen, sister. Yeah. You know how it is. It's let's piss off Greeno and get more super chats he would want. Yeah. I think this is one of the first times I've seen Jinx with no wrench. I know. Hey, Aspen. Did you see I did a little toast to you with my lip gloss earlier? Kids, man, I don't care who you are. Yeah, like it's null and void, but null and void. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, X-nay everything before that because I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. You know, like now I'm going to tell you like why I should get away with that. Like how she would say, well, I'm an only child. Sorry, but I'm an only child. Didn't know, you know. But it wasn't like then the next week she would do something outrageous. Oh, well, I'm an only child. Like being an only child is not an excuse for bad behavior. It's not an excuse to neglect your children. Like you happen to have 3. Like they're not only children and you need to take care of them. And like you're refusing and you're saying, well, sorry, I was like really screwed up there. Like, but I'm an only child. Like, what kind of crazy train is this? But, you know, the point of going through things, like we all end up, you know, like I know I can trace back to like why I fell for Greeno there for a little bit in what was that, 2020? My nephew, well, he's, you know, with Greeno, you go, well, he's not really your nephew, so you lied. You know, like he's my second cousin, but I raised the kid, you know, literally like nannied him. And he died of an overdose. And I had made the decision, and I knew this from the time he was little, and it was so sad to see, to be able to like see what the adults in his life were doing that were going to screw him up. And I loved him so much. Like he went everywhere with me. Like I was still in high school, you know, and right after high school, and like it was me and him, you know. And even back then, like I could see like the enabling, the spoiling, the he never did anything wrong. There was always an excuse. And he was bad. Oh my gosh, he was horrible. And I had other cousins that be like, how could you stand to be around him and like take him home with you for the week? And he's awful. And I'm like, because as soon as we get away from the adults in his life, he's awesome. He's hilarious. He minds. He's smart and intuitive and engaging. And I love hanging out with him. He's my buddy. I love him, you know, and there is no not listening to me because he knows what my boundaries are. He knew that I wasn't going to put up with it. And I would just simply, you don't get to come, you know, like if you want to hang out with me and you want to go and do, then you are going to do that within the guidelines that I set. And then we're copacetic. And this little boy, my nephew, he he loved that, because kids need that. They need that guidance. They need to know the boundaries in order to really flourish and be happy. And so I never had a problem with him, but I could also see, like, man, this is really going to screw up his life. Like, if he doesn't have the self-awareness to realize that I am not the center of the universe, and I don't get away with all of this stuff. But that's not how it played out, unfortunately. And he got hooked on drugs, and man, he called everybody. But you know what? He never once called me. And he knew, he would call me when he was doing good. But he knew, like, and I think I might have been one, and I'm not saying this like brag. I was just there for him when he was little, I simply loved him. And I think that because, when you get hooked on heroin, you don't have, like, you're not embarrassed of anything. The things that evil drug will make you do, you will never see coming. You never think, I'm going to try some heroin at this party, and then I'm going to have like a normal day tomorrow. You think you're going to have a normal day tomorrow, and you're not. Most of the time, you're not. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and just go on about it. Now you are a heroin addict, and this is your life. And that choice that you thought you were just going to be able to go on about it the next day, you're locked into it. And now it's controlling you. And now you're going to steal from your grandma. You're going to pimp out your kid. You're going to do all of these heinous things, all for a drug that you probably just didn't even think twice about. Like, yeah, I'll try that. Why not? And so many people get hooked on drugs that way. And then it's over. And he had a bunch of things that he, like this, he thought he was the center of the universe. Nothing bad could happen to him. There was no consequences. And trying heroin was no big deal. And this is he was highly intelligent. Baywatch beauty, like highly intelligent. He ended up with like all kinds of degrees, and just like, it was easy for him. He didn't have to, he could have gone so many different ways, but that early guidance, it really wasn't there. But like he was loved, he was loved. And, but there was I had to really do some like reflect, because I was telling, stop. You can't, I went to Al-Anon a long time ago for someone else in my family. And I learned a lot there. It was actually very, very helpful. Like, if you're in a situation where someone that is addicted to any, Al-Anon is a great source for you. I really got a lot out of it, and I remember one analogy so well was, you're on a ladder. You're on a ladder with this person, that is now, that is addicted, and you're climbing up the ladder, and you're hanging on with all your might, and you're also trying to hang on to them and like help them up that freaking ladder, and like, that's literally what it's like. You're hanging on for dear life, hoping to God that you have enough strength to pull them out. But the problem with that is like, we can only control ourselves in this world. And at some point you have to let go, and you have to, like, you're going to get up on your, because I'm getting in your way. I'm getting in your way of recovery, because I never let you fall down. The thing you just hope is that they don't fall the way to their death, but you cannot enable someone that is addicted. And so I was actively telling people, like, you've got to stop. And, he died of an overdose, and it wasn't a happy ending. It didn't end up being like a recovery, like story that he gets to tell at AA, like, you did too much and he died, and it sucks. And I was very going through all of those emotions and like living through that at that time. And then a guy like Greeno comes along saying that he has addiction problems, and and he's fought that all his life, and he's very charismatic. He's giving you this, and you're just like, man, I want to give him another chance. I want to help him because you've got this that you're emotionally going through, and then you don't realize it until like having those epiphanies later. So my epiphany was like, yeah, like that's how I ended up being more vulnerable to his superficial charm and like believing him. And then he also, this is something else that he always does too. He gets someone with credibility and that someone that other people respect. And at that time it was the captain, and I have so much love for that man. And I have so much respect for him. He is one of the best humans that I know. Honestly, like I don't say stuff without meaning it. And I love him, and I respected him then, and I respect him now. And so it's like, oh, well, but that's what Greeno plays on. And the captain wasn't aware of it. I wasn't aware of it at the time, except in retrospect, so you can look back and be like, yeah, like I associated Greeno being a better human because the captain was talking to him. And then I allowed myself to come into his sphere of puppet master because I wanted to I wanted to kind of ease my own pain, and like that's what set me up. And so that's the thing about being human is you can take you can learn from your mistakes. That's the beauty of life most of the time. Sometimes you don't get a chance to, and that sucks, but if you wake up tomorrow and you made some mistakes, like a mistake is only a mistake if you don't learn from it. And if you learn from it, it's a life lesson, and it's made you who you are, and you can be proud of that mistake. You don't have to cower and hide and be ashamed of it. You can own it and then like, you know what, that moment in my life, other people may judge me for it, but I learned how to be the person that I am today. And for that, I'm forever grateful, and that's all we can want for ourselves and the people that we're around, Thank you, Marbles. Hey, it's a new day. I was just showing your channel earlier. Yeah, and that's another thing. Like I've seen so many people say things like, well, you have to cut him a break. Like I was where he was. I was addicted, and I get that. That's why I ended up in this sphere with him and Nicole Bowen and Ray Hanish's family. That's how I got in there, because it's like, yeah, like if he truly like got all this help and like he is sober now and like, yeah, he just totally deserves a second chance. I mean, good God, like absolutely. And so many people, he's been able to exploit other people's addiction and them getting sober and sober living and changing their whole life, because it's not easy. It is the hardest thing that I think a human being ever has to do, and that's why I think that heroin and meth are literally I mean this literally. They are Satan. Like that is the epitome of evil, is that this drug exists that can literally make you inhuman. And it sucks. And so when someone is able to break away from the power of that evil drug and they make a change, that is a badass person. That is a strong person, because it's not easy. And most people just succumb, and it sucks. And it sucks to see our children and our family and our friends dying, and nothing we can do. Not a damn thing we can do. And so when someone breaks out of that, I mean, God, and then they pay it forward. And Greeno exploits that. And then he gets those people to be flying monkeys for him and go around and be like, you can't, like you're putting down addicts and alcoholics and drug addicts. And I was like, he's using you. Like he tries to identify with you, because if he can identify with you, then you're now on that cogwheel. You're a part of his exploitation of others. Now you're in it. Like now he's got you. And he does this to women. I don't even need to it's not like I have like a front row seat to his dating life, but I bet you, Crime Geek's in here now, I bet you that each one, he has become everything that you ever wanted and deserved. He is going to ask pointed questions and really, really make you think that this is a guy that gets me. This guy he gets me. He makes me feel like I could do anything, and I feel safe with him. He's going to pull out little things, and he's going to be exactly what you've always wanted and deserved. And he's going to be able to be that for a little while, and that's where you have to, with anybody, you have to be able to, especially when someone's charming, because there are people that are just charming and they don't have a bad bone in their body, but then there's other people that are real charming, and you need time to figure out. You can't, because this is a guy that's going to hurry you into love. He's going to hurry you into moving in together. He's going to hurry you into exclusivity with him. He's going to hurry you into every single move, because that's the only way that he can truly do it. If he takes his time, his facade's going to fall off before you're invested. You see what I'm saying there? That facade, it can only last so long. So he's only got a short amount of time. So he's going to move fast, and he is going to punch hard, and he's going to come at it, and he is going to give his all into being everything that you think he is at that time. But the thing is if instead of just, when you meet someone that's charming, instead of just, we can all learn from this. This is like you can, that preventative real crime that I was talking about, because when you get locked in with these charmers that are really hiding pathology, like psychopathology behind that superficial charm, if you go slow with anyone that's charming to mate, because they're going to listen a lot more than they talk, because they're trying to gather all the things that they're going to use against you later on, and that they're going to use to get you to be invested in them, to be in love with them, to think that they are the be all end all, but the reality is it's untrue. It's completely, I can remember after I got divorced, and I was kind of I never did apps or anything, but you just go out and get hit on or whatever. And I don't know, I didn't go on very many dates, but I went on this date with this guy, and nice looking, guy, just kind of a normal guy, I thought, but something about him, just his mannerisms was kind of like something annoyed me about it. He, just the leaning in and the looking into my eyes and the yeah, oh, absolutely, all of that. And then I'm just like, I had said like a couple things that I like country music. Oh, I love country music. Like, yeah, that's my jam too. And then I'd said something about, growing up in church. Oh, I go to church every Sunday. Yeah, I do too. I grew up in church. And then it was just like by the fourth or fifth thing, it's just like, good God, we can't have this much in common. Like, what is going on? So then I just started like saying all kinds of crazy shit. And he just kept going right along with it. Like everything that I was saying, he was it, he was into all that, and then, like this douchebags last, like, I was done. I'm like, I gotta get back home. Like, this is not, I see through this cat. Like, this is not for me. And, he still keeps trying. He's not picking up any of the signals. And he's like, hey, do you want to go back to my apartment and I can show you how to do some like jujitsu? And I'm like, what? Like, are you being for real? He's like, yeah, I'm a jujitsu like master or whatever they call it. Like he's, claiming that he's like way up in it. And I look over and like the bartender is like snickering. I was just like, oh my God, like, no, no, but like this guy didn't have the like read the room ability to be like, it's the first date. Like, I've done all of these things to avoid being anywhere, like to meet you out. Like, no, like, what would make you think that I'm going to go back to your apartment and you teach me jujitsu? Like, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but just the outrageousness of it. But this guy, he didn't see the outrageousness of it. He thought, I've paid for like her drinks and her meal, and I've put in all of this work and effort, of being relatable, and yeah, this is how the night's going to end. And when I said no, that's not, no, I got to go home, and he was pissed off. And it was just like a really fast way to be like, yeah, that was a psycho. He was probably a psychopath or a sociopath. And he was pissed off. Okay. Like, this guy was mad, and it was all my fault. It couldn't have been anything that he did that was so creepy. But yeah, it was like all my fault. So I see him, like, of course, I get home safely and all that. And like, good God, like, I can't, this dating world is just not for me, like, I can't do this. And I see him out like months later, and he has the audacity to approach me wanting closure, like, and he's upset, and he's dragged his brother into this now. I'm like, what is going on? But this is what happens when you get trapped in these situations with people that aren't like, they're like, have that inhuman, like, they don't get it, like, they're narcissistic and psychopathic in some way, like, they don't get it. So you end up in these like, what is going on? Like, we literally went on one date. Like, do you want me to pay you the $20 for my drink and my meal? And like, is that what this is about? Like, you spent some money, a-hole? Like, it was just like, what is going on? But I guarantee you that's what Greeno does, but yeah, he's gonna use all of these things. Like, it's gonna move fast, and he is gonna be just everything, the charmer that he thinks he is, and he's gonna fool you. And don't be embarrassed of that, because, man, I mean, how many times did I have gotten, like, haven't had that awareness, like, with that single white female crazy ass friend, like, I should have seen right through her. I had already gone through deconstructing type therapy for manipulation, to be able to spot manipulative people. Like, and I'd read this book, Who's Pulling Your Strings, and my psychiatrist had wanted me to read it, and I did, and like I went through therapy to like unravel and learn from and how to watch out for toxic people that are manipulative and that have an ulterior motive. But yet I still fell for her. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a learning process, and they're good. They're good. But they're all going to be the same. So that's why you can listen to Tinder Swindler or like Signs of a Psychopath. You can watch these things, and then you can see you can correlate that, you can make that make sense with the person that you're dealing with. But yeah, I think it was Pitts that had said that they are, yeah, I climbed from the pits of hell to the top of the ladder in 8 years. It's not been easy, but it's been worth it. That's spectacular. Like it is, like that's what I was talking about. Like that is people that do, and they recover, and they put that in the past, and they lock it up in it, because it is something that you can't just like forget about. It never lets you, because the moment that you think that you've conquered it and you're like way past that, it'll come bite you right in the ass. Like that's how evil addiction is. And if you're not careful, it'll suck you right back in, and it'll trick you into thinking like, oh, I'm strong now. I can handle this. And it's like, no, like, that saved me from myself. And then you've gotten out of it. And now you got to keep saving you from your own yourself, your thoughts, the intrusive thoughts that are going to come along to try to tempt you back into tricking you into thinking that you can dabble, you can have a drink. It simply just doesn't work that way, unfortunately. Like, and luckily for me, like I was able to learn from watching other people die and rot away in front of me, because meth heads are like, it's like you have died and you're decomposing, but you're still alive. So it's literally the definition of a zombie, like meth addiction, being addicted to amphetamines or whatever. It's like how are you going to be here in a few more months type of look, just they literally look dead. And then, the heroin gives you like a whole waxy pallor, like where you look kind of like what is, like maybe like you're still decomposing, but now it's like more of like you're being mummified or you're bloating in a body of water. Like you just look like green. I don't know, but I saw that around me, and it like scared me, and I'm like, what do I got to do to avoid that? Like, and then I mean, it's a funny story where I accidentally smoked crack, but like, that's what happened. I don't know. I don't know. It could crack, cocaine. I don't know. And I don't know the difference, to be honest with you. I, grew up if you want to understand my childhood, go watch the documentary on 18 Kid the Duggars. I know, but like, if you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Not necessarily the brother that's a freaking, doing all that, like that did not happen to me. But the church stuff, the programming, the brainwashing, and the like homeschooling and all of that is exactly even the same evangelist. That's exactly in the same time frame, really. Like, that's exactly my childhood. That's what made me a little bit of who I am today, you know. But what was I saying? I just forget. Oh, thank you for the sticker marbles and stuff. It does. It works if you work it. It sounds like cliche, like it's such a, you know, like an AA kind of thing. But like I love that. I think what they call it something, the serenity, like the prayer, or grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. What is it? And the courage to know the difference. That's the part that I really like hit me, was like in the, because it does. It, I think I'm gonna have to look it up now. I think it's called the Serenity Prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Like, that is a very powerful sentence. You know, the serenity to accept, because we cannot control. We can't control anything. Like, you know, there's so much that's out of our control, but yet that's usually what leads us down the road of a slippery slope, is our need to control, you know, because if you can control something, then you know what's going to, like, it makes, trust me, I know, the courage to change the things I can, because it does take courage to like truly change. And that's where like you want to be, and where you want other people and the people you surround yourself to be. You want them to be courageous, not for, you know, going out and like hunting lions or something, but just to be a courageous person to change the things that they can, and then to have the wisdom to know the difference. Like, that is very powerful. Yeah, it's beautiful. But, you know, that's one of the things like that you say in AA and Al-Anon, it works if you work it. And it most definitely does. It's not going to feel like it, but it mostly does. Because the thing is that if you work at it, it's more than likely to work, isn't it? You know, if you don't, like with personal growth, if you don't put any work into personally growing, then don't expect to grow. You know, like there should be fruits of your labor, you know, that you should. And that's the thing that's different about Greeno and me and you. Like, there, he can say, it's lip service. He can say that he's a recovering alcoholic or drug addict. But there's going to be fruits of that. Just like when he resonates with you and you want to bring him in and protect him and help him, like I got trapped in, you know, like that happens to you, you have to be aware of that, because that's going to be a pitfall along your journey of sobriety. And he's going to exploit that. And the thing is that most people, we think that other people have good intentions, you know, and I don't think I'm glad that I'm not going around thinking everybody is out to get me and they're bad people. Like, I don't know, maybe it's wrong to want, like, to enjoy being naive about, you know, I don't want to look for psychopaths every time I turn around. I just want to have the knowledge and to be able to enact that knowledge when I need it, to be able to like, you know, when I'm feeling like, when something like makes me go, instead of like, going, you know, slowing it down. Because if that's the only change that you make when you are find yourself in a situation with a new person that is charming, okay, like if you, the only thing you change is just to make them slow down, and you slow down your thinking in order for your the logic parts of your brain and you know, the logic parts of your brain heart, you know, to be able to like measure this out. Is that, you know, because once he gets you, and you know, then the facade drops off, he's gonna, you know, he's gonna do something and it's gonna shock you, because you're just like, what? Like, this is so out of character for him. Like, I don't understand. There's got to be a reason. And he's gonna have a story. Oh boy, is he gonna have a story for you, you know, like how him going on the run, and like now it's this big conspiracy, and the whole law enforcement and the judge and everybody else and their brother are out to get him. He's the one that they've been, you know, over and over and over again. He is the one that is, you know, the good guy. And you're going to want to believe that, you know, because you want to believe in this idea of him that he sold you. You want to believe in that, and like you're invested in that now. So when he starts to unravel, you're on the train, you know, like you're going to do things. You're going to like have his back. You're going to be like, you know, and want to see you on your it's like you are with a drug, you know, like you're constantly going to want that fix that you got that he was able to give you in the very beginning. And like, he's not capable of it. And it's going to take you a long time to realize that. But the sooner that you do, and the get out safely when you're dealing with people like this, you don't just leave them. And you want to know why you don't just leave them? Because you're property. You're an object. You don't, what? Like, the audacity of you to leave me. I have abandonment issues and you're going to leave me? I think not. And then we got that nice clip from It's a New Day of him literally saying, yeah, like I sit and like calculate out how much, like, what felony is this that I'm about to commit? Do I mind going to jail for a couple years? Nah, I don't mind. I'm kind of needing a free ride anyway. You know, he literally got out of jail one time, and like people had paid for him, you know, to not go to jail in Carroll County after he got done in Mooresville after that scam of a ridiculousness. You know, was another I'm sorry, but you know, like I am acting a fool in this audio and video of him in the hospital. But he took the audio out and then thought that no one was going to notice that there's time skipped when there's a timestamp on the freaking screen. Like, come on, you know, like not even good at it. He didn't have to be good at it because he's got flying monkeys, you know. So they're gonna try to make you feel bad for not believing him, not giving him money, not like, or speaking out against him. You know, it's just the way it is. But yeah, it is easy to get into a dark place with alcohol. Yeah, I do that to myself too. Like I'll just because I have like addiction genes. Like I've literally mapped them out on my own on Livewello with my 23andMe results. But they run deep. They're on both sides of, you know, my paternal lines, and they run real deep. And like I've always known that. Now I know genetically, like I can see it, like the the correlation there with that. But really, it's something that I've always known because I've had to live with it. I've had to live with death and overdoses and, hiding your purse and your kid's DS and, what in your car because your family's going to steal it if you don't. I've lived with addiction since I was a little kid, on both sides. And it scared the shit out of me because I saw how some of my cousins, they were awesome. We had such a great childhood together and then they got hooked on drugs and I don't know who they are. I'd turn them in, and I have, and I will, and I do, they're not, and it's sad. It's sad to know somebody before drugs got a hold of them because you do the person that they were and that they could be again. And it's heartbreaking. It really is. But yeah, I'll do that. Just stop drinking for, a long period just to make sure. I'm just terrified of being addicted, but that accidentally smoking crack. I thought it was just now I know that they're called blunts, with the cigar wrapper and the marijuana in it. But I didn't know. That's what I thought it was. I didn't know that it had other stuff in it, and so I, just naive and trusting, just start smoking this 19 years old. And it put me on my ass. I have ADHD. So I think that's my deduction of why it didn't make, me hyper. It was because it made me fall asleep in the snow. I got super hot and I didn't know that I had just done drugs, more than marijuana. I didn't know that. So I'm thinking I'm dying, and I'm hot. I'm taking off my sweater. I'm I'm taking off my socks. I got a tank top on, my jeans, and yeah, on my back. But yeah, that's the last memory I have is making a snow angel on this concrete patio on the side of this house. And luckily the patio was underneath a window and somebody in the house party saw me and went out and got me at some point. But I was out there for a little while because when I woke up the next morning, I was just my skin was on fire and I had burnt, my skin was burnt from being in the snow. It was everywhere that my tank, in the heels. Oh, that was the worst. That was the worst. It was my heels were frost bit. And man, it was so painful. And so I had what, and they were like, you never smoked a Mo before? No, and I didn't know. I'm what? You got to remember, I didn't go to school. I was in didn't have any of those experience. I didn't learn any of that stuff. So it was just what, no. And then it was just I associated I'm never going to do that again because I had pain. I literally had frostbite on my heels and it hurt like hell because this is the middle of winter. You have to wear shoes. It was just I had to learn the hard way, but luckily I did. And it was a terrible experience. And then I never was tempted to do anything in that line ever again, And the same thing with opioids. I was 15, no idea that what narcotics are, no idea what opioids are. But I almost died. I legit, the doctor saved me and I was in the hospital for a couple weeks. I ended up with, what's that called? It's a blood infection, toxemia, or, but the blood in my whole body was infected from a kidney infection that I didn't treat. I didn't know what was going on. And then I just passed out and go in the bathroom. And then I wake up in a hospital bed. Like, what is going on? And I mean, and they had me on like morphine and Dilaudid and all these like really strong meds. And I mean, it was just like the worst. And then they finally was like, okay, she's well enough to go home. And they give me and my parents this giant, I had 120, like, I don't know what they were called. I think hydrocodone. I think that's what like the brand was or whatever. But and then my parents like just gave me, I was in charge of my meds, And I mean, I'm 15, like you would think. But I kept on, I took them, the bottle says every 4 hours. I didn't take more, but I also kept taking them past when I probably needed them. Like, obviously, like I had taken this whole bottle, right? And I'm like, remember, I've not been in like any situations that would give you any insight to the fact that you are now hooked on opioids. Okay. Like, I am a kid that's just barely started going to a Christian school, not even like a normal place, but like, I don't have any, except for like, I could look back and see like, like I have family members, like I should have known, but I didn't have anyone in my family that was addicted to pills. Like, so if a doctor gives you something, it's good, it's safe. Like, so anyway, I take the bottle's gone. I'm like, okay, well, like that's done. I've taken all my medicine. Like now I'm going to be better. Holy forking shit. I went through withdrawal, like horrible. Oh, it was awful. Just so sick. I mean, you'd have thought that I was 110 degrees, the chills and the like, just feeling like absolute garbage, it was the worst. Oh my God, it was so awful. I still to this day like when I think about that, like it's more like traumatizing than the actual thing that almost killed me, like was that withdrawal from those opioids and the morphine and all the drugs in the hospital. But I was so sick, and like I think it was my dad was like, "Where's that bottle of, because I was in just a tremendous amount of pain, like everything hurt. And my dad, and I'm like, they're gone. And he at that moment, like you can see, like he now, like, oh my God, like he knew what happened. And he said, you're explained it to me. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm a drug addict now? Like, what? Like, how is this happening? How is this my life now? Like, now I have to go through this withdrawal. Like, I have to see this through now because like, I'm not going to I can't, now I know. So it's like, oh, you guys, don't ever do it. Like, don't ever let a doctor prescribe you. I get kidney stones. So I have to take, the pain meds, and a long time, I don't think they do it anymore, but they'll just give you a bunch of them. And I was like, after that experience, I'm like, absolutely not. So I got my first like kidney stone, like, I don't know, 18 or 19, something like that. And I just had them ever since. So, and they're the worst. I'd rather give birth than have a kidney stone. Honestly, they're just horrible, but like, they're very painful. And then you just end up like, I don't give me more than I need to pass this down, and like, that's a part of my chart because like, I'm aware now that like, I could fall into that bad, like that addiction that happened to withdraw from these pills. And like, I don't want to be that. I don't ever want to go back to that. So it's like, you know, you have to be able to use that while I'm driving. That's funny. There's new people that join YouTube and follow TrueCon cases every day, and they end up falling for some of these griffin. Yeah, that's true. That's why we're here. Hey, Fuzzy Bee. Vicarious Vigilantes. I checked your channel out earlier. Wait to see some of those videos you were talking about. Yeah, blunts are weed out back. And then there's I think it's, I don't know. I'm acting like I know what I'm talking about, but I think it's called a mo, like where it's laced with like crack. But yeah. Greeno tried to use that story against me because I told that to Analysis of a Crime. I'm like, I can see it for what it is now. I'm like, it's funny. Like, I get it. But like, he tried to be like, tried to use that against me. And the thing is like, you have to heal from your own mistakes for your own self, because that's where people like him will trap you. Like what he does with recovering addicts and alcoholics, like people that are literally truly living sobriety. He will, you know, use it against you. Well, we're the same, you know, like we're the same. You know, give me a second chance. Like you got a second chance. and that's what angers me so bad, is that I see it for what it is. But that poor person, they think that they're doing good work. Like they're really like helping him, you know, and they think that he's honest, and it's just not true. You know, there's not a, honesty is a foreign concept to people like that. You're never going to be able to, you're never going to be able to help them enough. Never. They're going to require an awful lot of you. So just know what you're signing up for. Big Pharma. I started to watch that. There's a documentary about it. And again, you know, it's an overcorrection though. You know, like the whole start of like Oxy, you know, that's what the documentary is about. But like with the societal things that we see of like, you know, pre my generation and back, like we were raised in a completely different household, you know, than what are these new children that are being born and raised right now are. Like, you did not talk about your mental, you didn't have mental problems, you know. You did not talk about religion, you didn't talk about politics, you didn't talk about your finances, you didn't talk about your feelings. You did not do that. And so it was like a suppression of emotion, you know, and that's just the trend of like, and then it got to a point where it's like, this is really, this way of being is just putting out some really wretched, broken human beings. We need to change this for the future children of America. And so what always happens though, it was a complete overcorrection, you know, to where now these little poor children are going to be just as messed up as the suppression children, because now every whim, every thought, every feeling, every moment is grabbed onto and highlighted, and it's who you are. You know, you can't have like a, you know, everything is tended to with a with the degree of just depressed. Like, it is just horrible. Like, this is not just, this is going to go very badly for when the next overcorrection of history happens, like, this is going to go down very badly. This is not good. Yeah, I do too. But man, I can remember sitting around, having to learn the hard way the difference between trying to engage in an adult conversation that is just with like your grandparents and your immediate family, and then like taking that to like going out. We would go out to eat with like church members on Sunday after church. And like, I remember one time I had brought up something that I had learned from listening and talking with my immediate family members. And I had brought it up around people that were not in my immediate family. Whoa, you did not do that, and like, I had to learn the hard way, like, that you don't talk about that. Like, there's things for us to talk about and you get to hear about, but then like, you don't get to, yeah, no, that doesn't happen. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I hope that like Cher and Miss Dottie and Roxy and Ray's family, they went through the Nicole Bowen 5, and like the delay. So, like, that's the justice system. The wheels of justice turn slow. And once they waive their right to a speedy trial, which is like in 90 days of the time that they are indicted, once they waive that right, like, it is all about the delay. Like, you're I mean, some of the, like, Anthony Dabaya, like, he's on like his 16th rescheduled trial, all from the defense. I keep waiting, like, surely they're going to put their foot down, but it doesn't keep happening. I did hear that they are going to be airing the trial, if it goes to trial, of the murder of Nakota Kelly on, Zoom. So the judge gave that permission, so that's cool. That guy is such a monster. If I can say, ladies, it's calming listening to Cold Truth and chatting in here, and that's real cool. Well, thanks. I don't think I'll ever be married. My lifestyle is too random. I pick up and leave the state for days sometimes. Yeah. I'm not going to do it again. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do it again. I mean, I was married once, like right out 21, but I've been with the same person for 15, 16 years, I think. I don't know. I'm not sentimental, so we don't have like dates or anything. You're dumb. Yeah. I don't know. I think like marriage is, I just see it differently, like, you got this piece of paper now, like, but that's not, but marriage is simply just is choosing the same person every day, and life makes love work hard. And if you have enough self-awareness to know, like, I'm not going to work hard at, it's not on your top priority. You have other priorities, and that's totally normal and fine. I think we all are, like, it's such a weird thing. Like, I don't get it. Like, why everyone is so about you grow up and you get married. Like, that shouldn't be, I don't know, it's like other people want to do other things, like, but marriage to me is just is simply just a commitment to work hard at loving someone for the rest of your life. And that is your intention, and then having boundaries for if they do A, B, or C, and D, that that you have to learn to love them, unlove them from afar for your own sake. Oh, cool. I've always wanted to go there. Oh, you've been traveling, sir? Yeah. Yeah, like, I think it was last year I got, like, super panicked that, like, because even though, like, he's their stepdad, like, we've been in, like, I was very adamant of, like, if you wanna be a part of my life, you're gonna have to wait a year or two to be a part of my children's life, but once I know where this is going, like, and I trust you to be around my kids, and it did take a year, um, they're always gonna come first. Like, you're never gonna be the top of my list at all, and, like, I'm just gonna be real honest with you there. Like, you're gonna come third always, probably fourth, like, but and you're gonna be their dad, like, you're not, that's something that you have to be open, like, we're a 3 package deal, like, I'm telling you that now, like, go leave if you want to, but, like, this is how it is. And, like, so their dad is completely involved in their life, not discrediting him at all, but, like, we've been raising them together in my home, my home, um, for a long time. So it's been like, I got super panicked about it. I'm like, we have to start taking trips. We got to start being, like, alone with each other. Like, what if we don't like each other? Like, totally panicked. We went on a trip and we had a freaking blast. So much fun. And so, that was like, oh, I'm glad we did that though, because it made it easier when they actually did leave, made it easier. Like, oh yeah, we're good. Like, we do, still choose each other, and we still like each other, and we still have fun with each other. And that's marriage. For 3 months, Dave. I don't know why, but I want to hear this story. Oh, I'm with the same man 20 years last month. That's awesome. You don't hear that much anymore, like Tammy and Charlie. Like, they've been married. I think they, like, right before, like, he died, they had their 45th wedding anniversary. Like, being with someone else for more than you've been alive, like, that's pretty forking awesome. And if you can find someone to do life with, that at the end of the day, like, at the end of your life, like, you've done this together, you've worked hard at it, and you're there for each other, like, that's beautiful. I just don't think it necessarily has to be marriage, like the typical. Oh, good. Break from the crime stuff. All right. Yeah. Yeah, you got to. I am comedy and humor a lot. Yeah. I love humor. If you can't laugh at yourself with other people, like, I can't. The one of my biggest pet peeves of people that I just literally I will not surround myself with people and know people and take them seriously in the least is people that get offended. repeatedly. No, I can't. That is a deal breaker for me. Like, if you are going to get offended and hurt feelings, I am not the person that is going to be in your life. This is not going to happen. I am bringing a card table and going to sell true crime cards. We'll see what happens. Oh, oh boy. Well, I hope it works out. I mean, I think it'd be really cool, like, what if me and you did what we do on your show, but at CrimeCon, where I pick somebody out and then tell you about it and then you sketch them out. Like, that'd be kind of cool. Like, I would want to like hang out and watch that. I think it'd be cooler than like, like I envision like Podcast Row as like somewhere where I'm definitely going to want to experience that, but like, well, give me a sticker. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I will participate in that, just because it's just like, this is kind of weird. We're like grown-ups, but then again, it's CrimeCon, so you got to kind of be a little bit about, silly things like that. But is that an aloe plant? Oh, it's fake. I don't know. It's fake though. So it's nothing plant. Yeah. Yeah, you should. Totally. But definitely, if you do, figure out a way to like get a hold of me, email me or something. So I hear it's quite a lot of people, which I'm not excited about. But I am aware, and well, they're probably listening. They might have already gone to bed, but I have like panic disorder. So, but I know, I do know myself really well, and that's a benefit of like living with this like irrational panic disorder. But like, when those panic attacks like come on, when they're induced by like being around a ton of people, or like when you've got like the noises, because I hear everything, and then like ton of people, and then if someone like were to like brush against me, like I just completely unravel into irrationality. And so I avoid, but I'm trying to do something different. And I'm trying to like do like desensitization therapy. It seems to work the best. So but I also know, like, from past experiences, when that anxiety happens, like I get like feisty, like, yeah. So, and I don't like that. Like, I don't like that at all. It's I scared myself, with that. Like, I don't like that, like, where you just feel that like rage. I'm not used to that at all. Like, I don't, but in those situations, like, the rage scared me. It scared me bad, of just because you feel out of control, and then when you add rage, yeah, I don't want any part of that. So most of the time I avoid anything crowded or loud. But here we go, me and me and my friends. We'll see. But I plan on warning them, and like, there are things that like I will just, you have to ask people of what you want, and like, you have to also be willing to help other people out. But like, I will intentionally like tell someone, like, if you see me, please remind me, and I'll just say like a sentence, like, just say that to me, so that it like shocks me out of this bad place that I don't want to be in. And that's hard because that means you have to trust somebody else. But I do. So we're going to go and we're going to have a blast. Hey, Hoosier, what are you doing? Good to see you. But hey, Kate, good to see you too. You had a live the other day, HCC? And a rant too. I love those. I didn't see it. I didn't even get a notification for it. Yes, thank you, Lighting the Way Home. It's good to see you. Yeah. I don't think Ativan is something I don't think I've ever been prescribed that or tried that. But they gave me a new one that I'd never heard of before, Halcyon, at the dentist's office. I mean, I went into full phobia of the dentist. I know it's stupid. It's totally irrational. I am ego aware of, it's called ego dystonic. And so I am aware that I am irrational. And that's what makes it so hard because it's like, that you are being a complete lunatic and totally irrational. And this fear that has gripped you, like you are literally in the throes of the lion's den, is not really a threat. So then you have this conflict with your own self, and like you feel ashamed and like guilty that you are freaking out. And you have put something that you would think that I was literally seeing the dentist in the middle of the lion's den in a fiery pit, and just bombs. You'd have thought that like I was literally in this horror movie, and I simply was not. And it was just my poor daughter. Like, had her drive me because they give you things to calm you down, and then nitrous. Well, I made it through the cleaning and everything, and then it's like, okay, you got to go and get this filling like refilled. It fell out, and then like I had a small cavity that I needed, and like, oh, so I was banking on this nitrous getting me through that, and it did not. Like, so it didn't work. It made me like anxious. It made me like racing. Like it made me the opposite of what it does to my kids all these years. Like, they just get silly and like they don't care. They could be getting their teeth cleaned on top of a tower at the edge. They wouldn't have cared at all, like. And so I was like banking on that, and then when it didn't happen, it sent me into like a whole thing. And then they gave me like this halcyon stuff, and my daughter thinks it helped, so she's probably right. But I did the doctor was like, how about you, like this has to, put this in your dissolve in your tongue. It takes about 10 minutes. And then why don't you just go for a walk? And I'm like, buddy, if I leave, I'm going to run, like literally run. And I go outside, and like this whole place is just all windows. And I have to get to my house. I have to go across this huge intersection, and this dentist office, they're going to be able to see me. I'm not going to be able to like sneak away. I've got to come up with an alternative route to hide from my daughter and these people in the dentist office if I'm going to run, which is totally, I was thinking this was completely logical at the time, right? So I decided to go and hide behind the back of the building, like hiding behind this dentist office in the weeds, and like trying to make a decision whether I'm going to go back in or I'm going to run away and like hide. And my daughter found me before I got to make a decision, because she came out of the bathroom and then completely panicked because she thought I was running. Like I had run across the street and I was on my way back home, and she's going to have to like track me down. So she gets on our Live 360 and finds me behind the building and like comes back there. And she's told my brother on me at this point. So we're getting other people involved, like she's called my brother and like she's told my brother on me. And he's on the phone and he's like, let me talk to her. I don't even know what he said, but apparently it helped because I went back in and I got my teeth cleaned, but it was quite ridiculous. And I probably won't, I know now, like, like I'll call my mom or my man. Like, I'm not going to do that to my kid again. Like I felt really bad. Cause I know that it like freaked her out, and she didn't know what to do. Like, but she did all right. She did good. I just hope I haven't screwed her up too much. I hope I didn't give her like too big of a trauma from that. No. We just got back from Michigan. It was wonderful. It's these like it's legal there, so I didn't go, but I got these like gummies they're called hybrids. Wow. Yeah, I need to move to Michigan. Like it was crazy of just like this is like to me, that kind of thing is a lot more natural than, something that comes from the pharmacy, unfortunately. But it was so nice. Like I slept so good. I think it was something about it being a hybrid that resonates with my body, like my chemical makeup. But I do melatonin. I feel like it's pretty helpful. And ashwagandha, I think that's what it's called. When you'll find a lot like in health food stores, they'll be sold together in like the same capsule, ashwagandha and melatonin, because they like help each other. But a very common reaction to anxiety, once you realize it's common and it's a false alarm and it doesn't mean you're going crazy, you can master it. Yeah, like I've done it several different times, and I know that coming out on the other side of it like works. Sometimes it's just like, is it really worth it? Like, I tried it with like, and this is a dumb one, but like going into a restaurant or like a public place and having my back to the door or the majority of people. I've tried to like force myself to do that. Screw that. Like, it is not worth it. Like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to learn to like do it. I'm just going to accept that I can't do it and I'm fine with that, But I can't do that with a dentist, like I need to go. So, or like even like eating food. Like I have a lot of weird rituals with food, like how I eat it. And I'm not going to do it. Like I just know myself and I'm just going to live with this. Like I am not going to just all because, I need to be mentally healthier. Like I'm not going to mix up my green beans and mashed potatoes and eat them in the same bite. I'm not going to do it, but valerian root. Yes, that's another one that's good. I keep seeing people on TikTok taking vitamin D, magnesium for anxiety. Really? You got to be careful with the magnesium, though. I had to learn the hard way on that one because it could, like, too much magnesium will literally make you feel like you're in the throes of a panic attack, and it messes up with your heart too. Yeah, those mineral vitamin ratios are the key to like health. Is not necessarily one particular vitamin or mineral, but the ratio matching with your body chemistry and the way that your body methylates the things that you take. And methylation is a lot about like compounds, you know? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You need magnesium, but you don't need too much. Same with like potassium. I have chronic low potassium and it's crazy. Like if I don't, I drink water, but I have like an additive with the vitamin mineral ratio in it, and I have to add it, and I have to consistently drink this in order to not have low potassium. And if I miss, or if I like get like really work out and like get like really sweaty and like cardio or something, and my potassium gets low, it's like you've done a psychedelic, like, and apparently that's like right before you start having seizures and like convulse. So I'm glad that I'm like aware of it now, so that I can make sure to state my potassium. But man, they can't figure out why, but it sucks. Yeah, vitamin D is one that they tricked a bunch of people into thinking that milk infused diet, like that doesn't, it's all about like how your body methylates it. And pasteurized milk is not it. But vitamin D, like the best vitamin D comes from the sun. But vitamin D3 is one that the body can use the easiest, I would say. Nearly everyone with cancer has low vitamin D levels. Wow. Yeah. I've been thinking a lot about cancer lately. Which I think, like, at this point, it's just epidemic, it's such a money racket, and they're playing with people's lives, it's sick. But I think people need to, like, you need to decide ahead of time, like, what are you going to do? Like, am I going to do chemo and radiation and I've like really been thinking about it, and like, I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm not going to do chemo. I'm not going to poison my entire body and hope I live. Like, I think I'm going to try something different, but yeah, like I'm pretty, I'm in the process of being more like having a very hard line drawn on chemotherapy, at least. But right now is like, no, I'm not going to sign up for that. I think I'm going to try to starve it, try to starve the cancer cells, and not feed them sugar. Why not? Why not try that? Like, I don't know. It's like you give this chemo, and then for the rest of your life, it's like now you are living the rest of your life as a poisoned person, as a poisoned body that's not going to be healthy or like come out on the other side of that. Even if you'd come out with your life, you're still going to be chemo poisoned. And I think it's barbaric and archaic. All right, we should get off here. It's like 2 hours. I was only going to be on here for an hour. They set you down and talk percentages based on your type, grade, etc. I was aggressive, but this is 9th year cancer free. Awesome, Daisy. That's awesome. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So again, like, I think I'm gonna get with Mayo and see what he's up to on Sunday. So you might see us. The case is, it's an old one, and her name is Kimberly Moreau. And he this is, like his childhood, affected him, and so he had asked me to look for just see what was on newspapers, and then I just read a couple articles and like just really empathize with like her dad, just like it's so sad. And it's kind of one of those where it reminded me when I was reading it all, it kind of reminds me of Shannon Polk, where you just have this feeling that they know, but they can't do anything about it, like there, for whatever reason, there's not enough probable cause to get an arrest warrant, but there's enough probable cause to know that like no one else did this, but for whatever reason, there's a defense that can be put out that a prosecutor thinks is going to get in the way of his win, and nobody, once you get a not guilty, that's it. Like there's no coming back from that unless you try to go in federally, but that's kind of hard to do. You can't be tried twice. So like, I get it, but man, it's like at this point, how many, I mean, like Shannon and Kimberly, like it's been at this point, like just give it a go. The Connecticut River Valley Killer? No. But now I'm gonna. Yeah. Well, good. Everything smelled like hospital. Oh, share. I don't know what else to explain it. Huh, that's interesting. I do know that it's like a metallic, it's almost like a metallic, like silver, like colloidal silver. Yeah, definitely. I need to. I went for mine, I'm like at that age, and then I was like, oh yeah, you have to come back every year. I'm like, oh my God, wow. I want to, because it hurts. It's barbaric. Like everything about it is just so barbaric. Like I hate it. I just don't think it needs to be that way. Like let's do something different. Technology is advancing at a astronomical speed, but there are some things that we're just letting them leave completely barbaric and archaic. Like let's demand something different and better. All right, guys. Well, I don't have anything else to say. Beware of the Greeno flytrap. Don't be the jack in the box. Don't let him wind you up and use you, because that's what he's doing. It's pretty undeniable, like he literally is doing it live. Like he's winding that guy up, and stop letting him. Just stop. But all right, guys. Good night. Thanks for tuning in. Beware and behave. ruckus.